One thing that I want to discuss is in Dubai, there's a lot of beautiful women, lots of different nationalities. And then quite a lot of them are doing some shady stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And I think some guys are aware of it, but a lot of guys, particularly me when I first moved here, I couldn't believe it. Like how many of the girls were doing
scale of it.
These sort of side missions that were bringing in like a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think I nearly fell into a few traps sometimes because when I came here, I was not necessarily looking to be in a relationship, but I was trying to find a good girl that I could hang out with, spend time with. And a few times I had to find out the hard way that they were actually, an escort.
Hustlers, yeah.
Because a lot of them, they won't admit it straight away that that's what they do.
Yeah, but you need to have an eye for it. And now that, and when you first moved here, you were not the man you are today.
No.
And 3 years ago, I was not the man that I am today. It's just the natural progression of being a man. But you learn, now that you have some more money and some more status, you learn how to spot the signs. For me, it's incredibly easy. But again, I have money. For a lot of young guys, they'll see girls in Dubai at a dinner table with 4 of their girlfriends and, having fun in Dubai or whatever. They'll see them standing on some little boat. They'll see them at this beach, at this club, and they don't think anything of it. I follow the money. I add up the numbers. Girls who live luxurious lives in Dubai may well have a boyfriend or a husband. That's fine, who's got money. But they shouldn't be messaging you if they are. If a girl's messaging you, hey, I'm single, and you're like, okay, cool, you're single. And then I'll say, what are you doing tonight? And they'll say, oh, I'm out for dinner. And then I see on their Instagram, it's her at Gal, and I could see the table, the physical table, and there's a steak, a lobster thermidor, and 500 grams of caviar on the table with a bottle of Dom Perignon. I'm like, okay, this girl told me she's a makeup artist. That's $4,000.
Yeah.
That's how much that cost because I spend the same money and I go to the same places. Oh, I'm just at the club with my friends. C'est la vie, 10 bottles of Dom Perignon. Okay, that's $10,000 right there. Who's paying for that if she's single? So I think following the money is the best advice I can give to people. Look at their Instagram and look how expensive the things that they're doing are. I'm just here with my girlfriends. They're riding those dune buggies around the desert. They're on desert safari. I'm like, okay, that's $400, $500, $600 each. What did this girl say she did? Waitress in Italy? Like, you just have to understand that, the money doesn't come from nowhere and the lifestyle doesn't come from nowhere.
The funny thing is, when they say they're with their friends, and they're not actually posting their friends half the time.
Yes,
it's always very close-up shots of the dinner, maybe a little shot from a boat.
Yep. And by all means, and there's nothing wrong with having a man take you on an expensive dinner. There really isn't. But you just have to be able to tell the difference, the nuanced differences between what they're doing. So if a girl's here on vacation and she takes a picture of a $4,000 dinner, fine. Maybe some rich man's taking her out. Maybe I took her out. Who knows? And she's posting this on her Instagram story when I'm in the bathroom. I don't know. I don't care. But if she says I'm out for dinner with friends and it's a waiter taking a picture of 4 girls, her and her 4 girlfriends who live in, I don't know, Spain, sitting at the Burj Al Arab with $11,000 worth of food on the table, I'm like, okay, somebody has said, go downstairs and eat what you want, and you 4 girls come up to the penthouse afterwards, wink, wink. That's what's happened here. And you need to be able to see those things because you have to understand the culture of, how some people live in any city in the world that has money. And the culture of the women who come here. But if you don't have an eye for it, you can very easily fall into traps. Yeah. Very easily.
Do you know what I always do? So if I have any interest in someone, whether I've seen them out and about or I've seen them on social media, I will just observe them from a distance. Yeah. Not in a stalkerish way, but it is kind of a stalkerish way. And I just observe their behavior for 1 or 2 weeks on social media and just see what's the type of things that they're posting.
Of course.
So if I see that they're not really doing anything, they have no job. Maybe they're private about their work and they don't post about it. But if they're always waking up late, going to the beach, posting, being at a fancy restaurant, then going to a club, and then that cycle is repeated every single day, then I'm like, this girl probably isn't for me.
Yeah, things aren't free.
Yeah.
I said this to a girl who I met her so she was Brazilian, and I met her in Bucharest. Strange. So she came out to the club with me in Bucharest maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And then I come out to Dubai and she's here and she goes, hi, I'm here in Dubai. So I'm like, oh, you're here in Dubai? That's interesting. I'm at this shisha lounge. Come over. She comes over. I said, what have you been up to since I saw you in Bucharest? She goes, oh, I've been in Switzerland. I'm like, okay, I get it. And I just told her, I said straight to her face, I said, look, can I ask you a question? But don't get funny about it. Don't get funny about it. I'm just going to ask you because I hung out with her in Bucharest. I hung out with her here. I don't pay for women ever. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm morally against paying for women. But I just said, are you an escort? And she went, okay, yes, I am. And I was like, you know what? Fine.
Yeah, I respect
if
that.
I go to a club or a bar or a restaurant, I'll still invite her and hang out with her. She's not going to try and charge me money. Of course, she knows me. But the fact that she just went, fine, yes, I am. She goes, how did you know? I said, Switzerland. Switzerland is the single most boring country in the world. Investment bankers go there and businessmen go there. And the thing is about the investment bankers and the businessmen who go to Switzerland, the German type, the Swiss type, is they're all incredibly boring and they all like beautiful women. But there are no beautiful women in Zurich, in Geneva. There are no clubs. There's no nightlife. There's nothing really to do there. So unless you bring your own women. So escorting is a massive thing over there. So I'm like, okay, she's Brazilian. She was in Bucharest. You know, I believed her story about visiting her friend. I didn't know. And I also didn't care at the time. But now she's here in Dubai, and in between she's been in Switzerland, immediate red flag. But the fact that she just admitted it, I was like, yeah, cool. You know, girls, if you do this, and if you do this kind of work, if you're only looking to hang out with a dude and, you know, I don't know, hang out with you know what I mean by hang out. If he doesn't want to take you that seriously, if you're not looking to get married, he probably won't give a fuck that much, you know? So, but it's the lies and the deception that annoy me, you know?
Yeah, because we're not stupid.
Yeah, we're not stupid.
And when they just keep lying and trying to stick to their story, it's just like, come on. Like, if you're lying about this, what else are you lying about?
Exactly.
Like, if they're straight up, and I've met a few girls out here who are just straight up. From the very beginning, they tell me what they do. I actually respect that.
This is what I do, but you're young and you got a nice place and, you know, I actually like spending time with you, so I'll see you in my spare time. Like, that's cool. The lies, I was here in January. I had an operation out here at a hospital in Dubai, and I was resting up at the Address downtown hotel, and I was sitting by the pool, and this girl from Moldova, she was speaking Romanian with her friend, comes over to me and starts talking to me. Hi, how are you? I'm like, hi, how are you? And the Address downtown, everyone knows downtown is where those type of girls hang out. And I knew that already. I was sitting in the pool. I had a cast on my arm. It was stupid. So this girl starts talking to me, and I said, yeah, so what do you do here? And she goes, I work in property. I'm like, okay, you work in property? Fine, cool. So we kept talking, and my hotel room was costing me $2,000 a day to sleep at that hotel. I asked this girl after about half an hour into the conversation, so where do you live? She goes, I stay at this hotel full time. And I'm like, the cheapest rooms here are like $1,000 a night. You're telling me that you spend $30,000 a month rent. Like, that just annoyed me to the point. I'm like, just at least tell me your sugar daddy pays for your hotel here and you go see him sometimes. Or tell me what the real story is. Don't tell me you work in property and then think I'm stupid enough that you could tell me that you live in this hotel. Either try to impress me and try to flex and try to show your watches and try and say all the nice things you live and tell your real job, or do neither. You know, when girls start being like, oh, and I was here and I was in the Maldives and I was in Geneva and I've got a Rolex. Oh, but I'm a makeup artist. It's like you have to pick one. You have to pick a lane and stick to it. Either be humble and pretend you haven't got the nice things, or brag about the nice things and tell us where you actually got them, because we know.
Yeah.
So